Migraine headache release in 10 seconds. Yes, that's correct. You can release a migraine headache in 10 seconds if you know how. And towards the end of this video, I will show you how to do this. However, in the meantime, I would like to explain to you some of the causes of headaches. Headaches just don't happen to happen. There's very, very specific causes. And I've been working with people who have had various forms of headaches and migraines for the past 27 years. And after a while, you get to understand how it all works. Most headaches are usually related to muscle tension, around about 95% of them. There's a few headaches related to hormones, there's headaches related to toxicity, there's other varying types of headaches. And if this process doesn't work for the first or second time, when you do it, then maybe you need to go and check it out, check your headaches out with a health carer. However, this is very rapid, very quick, and very, very easy to do. However, getting back to some of the causes of the headaches is the body is covered in neuroreflexes, and this is how the brain communicates to the body and through the body is through certain neuroreflexes, and especially the skeletal muscles for running, jumping, hopping, skipping, walking, rolling, crawling, climbing and dancing, and all other types of physical activity. However, these reflexes can get disrupted, and once they do get disturbed or disrupted, quite often they're not getting a proper neurosignal through, and there's certain times of life that these things can happen. Say a person comes through with a traumatic birth, forceps birth, a long labour, that can leave an imprint, and a lot of those babies will have scoliosis down the track, and after puberty they may start experiencing headaches. For some, they may even experience headaches even before that puberty change of life. However, we'll deal with that but what I want to point out to you is some very main reflexes we have is called the gait reflexes. And these gait reflexes are on the oculars, the ocular bone here, and on the back, just behind the ear, on both sides, and also in the groin, on the pubic side, either side of the centre line of the pubic bone, and also down here on the bum bone, so to speak, under that great big muscle. And these reflexes are to help the muscles transition between one swing to another. So when you're walking through time and space, you've got one group of muscles that will be contracting and one group of muscles that are meant to let go. However, when the gaits are not working properly, then there's tension in the opposing muscle that should be relaxing, and it hasn't fully let go. And when it swings back the other way, there's tension in the reverse while the other muscle is pulling back. So this is one of the main reasons why bodies get tensed up with muscle aches and pains. However, there are other reasons, and neurological reasons mainly, but this is one of them, the primary, and I'll deal with that a little bit later. However, the next main lot of reflexes are what we call the cranial reflexes. So again, the cranial reflexes involve the ocular, the liberator reflex, but also there's a reflex up here on the top three vertebrae of your neck called the acetonic neck reflex, and that gets jammed up. That reflex is meant to be able to hold your head up and be able to turn your head from right to left. However, sometimes you see some people in a wheelchair and they've got their head over here like this. And when that happens, it's telling you that the acetonic neck righting reflex is just not functioning. When you get that functioning properly, it is able to lift the head up and sit it on top of the neck, on top of your shoulders. Now, there's other reflexes in relation to the jaw and in relation to the temporal bones, and they're the main ones. They're the main ones, and they need to be reset. And usually when they are reset, headaches just go. And that, for some people, that's permanent. That's enough. And that's sufficient for them. However, for the few people that may get headaches on one side of the head, or headaches on the other side of the cranium, or headaches on both sides of the cranium, this is related, again, back to the gait reflexes, but it's indicating scoliosis, which is regarded as curvature of the spine. Now, curvature of the spine is not the cause of the problem. The cause of the problem is the gait reflexes. And the gait reflexes are associated with certain muscle groups for walking through time and space. And we call this the top to bottom, front to back muscle reactive system. So the top to bottom and on the front, and this is the back and up to the neck and onto the shoulders. And that system gets thrown out of sync. Now, to look for scoliosis, all you have to do is look around at anybody and see if they've got a high left shoulder. If they've got a left shoulder higher than their right shoulder, there's a good chance that it is a scoliosis. And what happens when a person is striding through time and space, then when they put out and they're stretching this long muscle here, this labyrinthine reflex doesn't get the signal to rebalance this muscle, to bring it back into homeostasis. And so it stays in a lengthened position. And with that one being in a lengthened position, its opposing muscle down here on the opposite side doesn't have anything to work against. So it just keeps on contracting, and over the years it just pulls the spine out. And it pulls the spine out of alignment. So this is the cause of scoliosis, and this is very correctable with the type of work that I do, and it's neuromuscular work, and it's very, very powerful. So that's given you a few ideas of where headaches come from. And so what we will do now is show you how to do this quick migraine headache release in 10 seconds, so that this will help you get out of any of your miseries. Now, this is what I call a quick fix. It's a first aid. Treat it as a first aid. For some people, they'll do it and it might be good for a day, 2 days, or a week. Some people for a month, some people for 3 months. Some people can do it and that's it. It just resolves all their problems. However, when you've got these muscles on the neck, front and back and sides, all tense, it's constricting also your meridian flow. You've got meridian energies finishing above and below the top and bottom lip. You've got the stomach meridian underneath the eyes. You've got the large intestine meridian finishing either side of the nose. You've got the gallbladder meridian starting at the side of the head. You've got the small intestine meridian finishing just in front of the tragus of the ear. And you've got the triple warmer, triple heater meridian finishing just on the end of the eyebrows, and the bladder meridian in the tear duct. So you've got a lot of meridians all around your head. And when there's tension in the muscles, it constricts the meridian energy flow. This meridian energy flow services the nervous system. This is very, very important. So, getting back to how to do this, what I would suggest for you to do is, before you do this, have a glass or half a glass of water, and I really mean water. I don't mean soft drink or any other fluids that are other than water, because the water helps the neurocircuits conduct better. And so you only have to take a little bit of water, half a cup of water, and it just makes the signals happen better. Some people get headaches because they're dehydrated, and so again it's important to take your fluids in. So you can use the index finger or the middle finger. It doesn't matter which. And we're dealing with these bones, and what we're going to do is release the fascia that holds these muscles together. And once we release this fascia, it releases the whole muscle itself. So come down to where these muscles just take off on the top of your breastbone. Your breastbone's here. And just give them a little flick outwards, and then go halfway up the muscle, give another flick across the muscle, and in behind the jaw, another flick outwards. And, you know, you're not digging deep, you're just flicking across it. That releases the fascia. Now you can drop your head forward, and so what we're going to do the base of the neck, and we're going to go halfway up the neck and then just under the occiput. So drop your head forward and come into the centre of the neck and just flick outwards. I'll turn my back to you. Just flick outwards, and flick outwards. And that releases the fascia. Now the other areas to work on is the TMJ. So put all your fingers, the TMJ is this jaw joint, where when you're chewing, and you've got some very powerful muscles here. The masseter muscle and the lateral pterygoid muscles, but they're also involved in other neurological systems. They're not just there for talking and chewing. They are there for fight, flight, and for another particular program. So put your fingers on the TMJ, push in gently, just push backwards and then flick forward. That's all you've got to do. Push backwards and flick forward. And then with your fingers, put them on the temporalis bone, just above your ears, and go backwards and flick forward. Now, the last muscle to look for, well, it's not the last, there's one more, is a little muscle in here. So when you put your finger in front of the upper trapezius, you'll feel a little muscle in there. So just flick across it on both sides, flick across it, and then you can come down and then you can flick the upper trapezius muscle, just flicking across. And by the time you've finished, this headache or migraine, it should be gone. It should be released. The migraine should be completely released. You can pull your head gently to one side and flick, or you can turn your head and flick up these muscles again and do the opposite side on the back of your neck and turn your head this way and to the right and flick across those muscles and do the opposite side on the back of your neck, and you will find that your whole neck will loosen up. You might feel or hear a little bit of creaking, and that's good, and your migraine will be gone. So I'll just go over that one more time. So the muscles on the front neck muscles that come up behind the jawbone and attach to the skull, you come right down on the bottom where they join on the breastbone and just flick outwards and come upwards on the muscles, flick out again, and then come up under the jawbone and flick out again. So that's three. And then the neck muscles, drop your head forward and at the base of your neck, flick outwards and halfway up the neck, cervical bones, flick across, and then just under the occiput, flick across. Do the TMJs, bring your fingers on the jaw, push backwards and just flick forward, and then over your temporal bones, go back and forward, and then come in here and just in front of the upper trapezius muscle, go in there, find that little hollow spot, and you'll feel a muscle in there, and just flick across it on both sides, and then come down the upper trapezius. And when you do the upper trapezius, lean your head outwards, and that will help it lengthen. Lean your head outwards and just flick across it, and your migraine headache release in 10 seconds will have taken place. So if you feel you've got some value out of this particular lesson and how to do this, please share the URL with your friends. Just pass this message on, and somebody who you know that may have terrible headaches, and this will be a great assistance for them. So I thank you. I thank you for your time. You can hit the like button down on the bottom. You can even leave a comment and ask a question. So if you leave a comment and ask a question, I'll do my best to answer and keep you informed. So there will be other messages, slight messages at the end of this video, and so that you will be able to gather other information. To the best of your health, and thank you for your time, and thank you for your listening, and thank you for your watching.